Hello everybody, Proto Foxy coming back at you with another video. Today I would like to talk to you all about something that I thought was always very fun. It was something my son and I enjoyed years ago when he was younger, and I still find a lot of joy in it, and it actually carries over, well, it did carry over for a bit into a new line, and we're going to talk about all of them because we got a bunch of them sitting here, and this is of course not anywhere near all of them. But we're going to go ahead and talk about rescue bots. Again, something that was part of the Align continuity, but we're not going to go so much into the storyline stuff because I just want to talk about the toys. Fun stuff. They had always, Transformers at one point or another had always tried to do more kid-focused lines. Back in the 80s, I think they did one where it was just called My Transformers or something like that, or My First Transformer, which was done by... and a lot of it was always a subline, which was Play School. And then around the early 2000s, when Transformers started blowing up again, around the time of Armada, so the Unicron trilogy stuff, Play School did, I think they were literally just called Transformers, and then they started calling them Transformers GoBots later on the line, which I have a bunch of those too. We'll have to talk about them at another time, get them in a video of their own. But then around the time of the Align continuity, and we had media tied to it. You had media tied to the GoBot show too. But around the time of the Align continuity, the kids got their own line again, and it was called Rescue Bots. The show itself was definitely kid-oriented. Yeah, you had a team of Autobots. There were a rescue team that worked with humans, and then this and that. My son really enjoyed the show. Obviously, we have a copy of one of the DVDs there, but the toys themselves, simplified transformations and stuff like that. And it's just something I thought was neat. I don't know what sparked me to want to break these out and talk about them, but it's something fun. And I enjoy the fact that we are getting some Rescue Bot love in the main line. Now we got Chase, which I had actually reviewed previously on the channel. In Legacy and in Age of the Primes, we're getting Heatwave, but I want to take a look at the OG Rescue Bots, and I don't think these are all of the Rescue Bots, and then of course its successor line, classic heroes, which are done in the same style. I don't want to say this is all of them because I want to say I actually have all of the original Rescue Bots. So the 5 here, which is Optimus Prime, Heatwave, Boulder, Bumblebee, and Blaze. I do believe I have a Chase floating around somewhere, and then a couple other ones that they did prior. I think there was like a Medics that they had done. I believe I have that laying around somewhere, and then a couple others, and then the smaller little Dinobot ones that they had done. I've got the full range of those somewhere, but these are the ones I could break out. And then the PVC figurines that were posable, got those. And then my son, when he was younger, had a bunch of them as well. We had the play sets, the Optimus Prime play set, and then the Bumblebee Garage play set. But that's enough about that. Let's get into it. Let's start talking about these guys, and these are real easy to transform. Ready for it? Boom. And there you have Optimus Prime. And now it's funny because this is actually meant to be a line continuity Optimus, but this is very G1 Optimus Prime. He does have ports in his hands, so he can hold things. But it's basic toy, detail there, and a really good just Optimus Prime approximation for kids. And this one is definitely pretty cool. I always liked that one. Heatwave, which was always one of my favorites in the show. And as you can see, this one was a little rougher wear. I think my son had this one first before he gave it to me. But, fire engine. And again, real super easy for the kids. But, again, fun transformation for kids. And I enjoyed it myself. I dug it. But Heatwave, it was always my favorite. And Steve Blum voiced him. So, then you have Boulder. And Boulder was always cool. The big construction bot there. And again, they all have ports in their hands, and so they can hold accessories. And Bumblebee, again, representing Align continuity. Super easy transformation. And that's just a freaking adorable Bumblebee right there, that head sculpt. Love it. So we got Bumblebee there, and we got Blades. Again, super easy transformations, nothing super complex. meant for the kids. But the detail on them, cool. They were big back then. This is, do I want to say, because I think they really started downsizing it around like Thrilling 30. But these guys were big, chunky, a lot of fun. Obviously meant to be played with by younger kids, stuff like that. But this is a lot of fun. And as we moved on, so this was the original first wave of rescue bots that we had. But then as time went on, we had what they called rescans, which they were doing all the main cast, and then they brought in a couple other characters. But they did the main cast in different vehicles. Like he had Heatwave here as a Formula One car, and that one's cool. I like that one a lot. Chase is a police SUV. I gotta remember how that one works. I think it's just this, or does it pop here? You know, a little play school transformer is gonna mess with you. There you got blades. Chase, the SUV police bot, and that one's, even though he kind of sits with a hunch. Oh no, you just got to click that into place, and then he stands up straight. There you got Chase. Oh my goodness, stand up and make something of yourself. Salvage, I believe he was another show character, which he was a big old garbage truck. And again, super easy transformation. This one actually had articulation in his arms. Real simple stuff, but, it's almost like a Bulkhead-esque type bot. And we got Blur, who was actually on the show. And funny enough, the way they cross this over between Prime and Rescue Bots, or the Align continuity, so Prime RAD-15, Blur was in RAD-15. He was the same character. But Blur, again, simple transformation, and he looks really cool. And then now this is probably my favorite Optimus Prime that they did. I like this one. It's like, I believe this was like an Arctic version of him or whatever. But I just like how he's big, beefy. I like the head sculpt on it. But he's just a big, beefy boy, and he's got huge boxing glove mitts kind of thing. That's a real cool design. I like that one a lot. And then the other really cool thing they did with Optimus Prime is they made him a Dinobot. So, boom, quick transformation. And then that, like that a lot. And it's funny because it's a throwback actually to like Megatron, Beast Wars Megatron's design, with the T-Rex head and the T-Rex tail as the arm. And I never noticed that before. He does have a little sculpted in, but the detail on him, again, for a kid's toy, this is really cool. You can definitely tell who it's supposed to be. But it works, and again, meant to be played with. And it's just something I wanted to highlight because this is something my son and I really got into a lot when he was younger. And then we're going to go into, and I do have a couple of more floating around. Like I said, I know I have the original Chase floating around somewhere. And then there were two more Optimus Primes that I had also had. One was a more G1-esque truck prime, and then the other one was the monster truck one, which was probably another one of my favorites. But then we got into Classic Heroes, which was basically the successor to Rescue Bots, and again, simplified toys of simplified toys of actual like evergreen G1 characters. So of course we had Starscream here. This is the first time. No, that's incorrect because you did have the villain Moorbot in the Rescue Bots line. But you got Starscream here. And why are you not changing? How does this? What am I doing wrong here? Oh my God! There we go. Yeah, you got Starscream, and he's even got the smirk. And this was more, again, tied to evergreen designs, tied more to Generation 1 as the Align continuity. But the toys themselves, successors to the Rescue Bots. You had Megatron, and he's a big old drill tank. And I actually really like this Megatron. And I like the design. And he's got the big drill, the big purple drill. We won't talk about what that actually genuinely looks like. But anywho. But that Megatron design is cool. I'd actually like to see like this done in a Generations take, because I think that'd be neat. Grimlock, of course, and I gotta remember how this one works. I think we just split him up, or do we just stand. Grimlock, very Grimlocky, and that's definitely a cool look for him. And again, kitty based, so we know they're meant to be played with. Bumblebee here, and he looks very similar, almost identical really, to, it's a downsized version of that Bumblebee there. And I believe, oh no, he does transform differently. Okay, so you pull the legs out, it does transform a little differently. So he's got the chest, he's got the hood chest and stuff like that. So a little simpler, so not identical, but close enough. And that's more akin to his head design from the show, as opposed to this one here, which was stylized. So, but, you know, Bumblebee there. And another one of my favorites, another Autobot Maximal leader, we actually got Optimus Primal. And this one's cool in the way he transforms, really neat, because you just sway the arms out. If the beast head, there we go. Beast head doesn't get stuck, but yeah, it pokes under there. But yeah, Optimus Primal, looking good right there, gotta say. And again, the details there, and it's all throwbacks to the original designs, of course, with a, you know, a younger audience in mind. It's the beast mode eyes are poking up over the chest plate. But all in all, just a fun little line, and these were all very inexpensive. I believe even these bigger ones back in the day were still only like $10 a piece or something. Again, just meant to appeal to kids and such like that. But of course, me being the kind of collector that I am, and I like unique stylized takes on Transformers, and these are definitely unique stylized takes. And the cool thing about them was that they were also, it was something that I had also shared with my son, because he really enjoyed Rescue Bots when he was younger. And so it was definitely something we can get into. Of course, like the regular mainline Transformer stuff too. But this was something we enjoyed together, which were the Rescue Bots, because they were cool characters and, you know, additional characters into the Align continuity at the time. But it, again, had its own show, something I enjoyed with my younger son, and younger kids enjoyed it. But it was cool. It was definitely cool, and definitely like the toys. And like I said, these are actually mine. My son still has his put up somewhere. And of course, you know, kids age out of them, but adults don't, because who cares? They're awesome. It's really all I got to say. I would really like to see this line kind of continue to give us more stylized takes of more popular characters. Maybe give us like a Soundwave, or, you know, maybe an Ultra Magnus or stuff like that. Who knows? But I don't think they're even doing these anymore. But I would also like to see more Rescue Bots get the Generations treatment, like Chase and Heatwave. I would like to see a Boulder. I would like to see a Blades the Copter Bot, even though I know no, because Blades is a Protectabot, and we haven't gotten confirmation that we're getting a Defensor. But yeah, I would like to see Boulder. I'd like to see Blades, but even then it wouldn't even matter, because different universes. That's the beauty of Generations, right? I'd like to see throwbacks to this, though. I mean, Optimus Prime, we get that design all the time. That's his basic Evergreen G1 design. But they look cool, and they're fun. You know, quick to flip back and forth between, nothing complex, you know, boom, like that. So it's, even if you want little despots to mess around with and just fidget with, they're great. It was a great line. It was a great line for kids because they were very playable, very hardy. You weren't worried about breaking them, what have you. I mean, some of the springs here and there could go, because I remember my son's Optimus Prime, the original one, the head wouldn't clip in because of the spring, whatever. But they were meant to be played with. And they were inexpensive. They were just fun. And they had some cool characters. Heatwave was awesome. Chase was awesome. Boulder was awesome. You know, that original team. Otherwise, that's it. I've yacked down about 15 minutes of them. They're fun. And you can still get a hold of a lot of them really cheap, even on Amazon. I would like to get some of the Rescue Bots Academy, because they had newer characters, this, that, and the other thing, and just like to get some of those representations. Because like the Hot Shot was really cool. I remember, I forget her name to save my life, but she was another a helicopter bot. That would have been cool. But they are cool, and if I find and get my hands on more, I'll definitely share them with you all, because that's what I like to do on this channel. Share cool things, and these are cool things. If you're a hardcore Generations collector, you're probably going to pass on these. You're going to be like, what the hell is with all these kitty toys? Who cares? They're fun. But if you're just a general collector, you like cool things, in your Transformers collection, give these guys a shot, especially the smaller ones like the Classic Heroes and the Rescan stuff, because definitely won't break the bank, and some of them have some pretty cool designs. Like I said, this Optimus Prime here, I want to see a Generations treatment of it. This is definitely a cool look, you know, just big, beefy, and mean, and actually awesome. You know, he looks awesome, and the truck mode is super awesome. You know, I mean, that's tough looking for a little kitty looking chunky truck there. You know, maybe even do this in a Energon Optimus Prime deco, and we can get an updated like Energon Optimus Prime. Who knows? Who cares? Hopefully you care, because I'm talking about them and you're watching this video. But they're a lot of fun, and you will tear my enjoyment of Rescue Bots out of my cold, dead hands. All that being said, hopefully you liked it. If you did, give it a, hopefully you liked the video. If you did, maybe shoot a subscribe my way. I greatly appreciate that. And I will say unto you this: be kind to yourself, fellow human beings, because life's short. Plan. I'll see you in the next video. Get your hands on these. These are a lot of fun.